Hey everybody, Lady Cheryl here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, I hope you'll find something in the video that you can use in your gardening and that you would like the video and subscribe. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the difference between a determinate and an interdeterminate tomato. I'm going to show you how I plant a very prolific green bean. And I'm also going to share more with you about how and why I prune my tomatoes. I started it in the last video, but I'm getting part 2 today. See if there's anything else I'm going to share with you. Oh, I know. I'm going to share with you how I saved some seeds from a cherry tomato that I've grown hydroponically. It's real easy. You're going to like it. Let's get started.
In my last video, I shared with you some tiny Tim tomatoes that I grew hydroponically. These are some of the biggest tomatoes that I've grown. So of course, you know I'm going to save these seeds. I decided to just use the biggest tomato and save the seeds because you get a lot of seeds out of these tiny cherry tomatoes. I saved all of these seeds that you see here today, May 29th. And I rinsed them several times, but you can see, when you go closer, you can see some of the gel coating. I don't bother trying to remove that, guys, if I'm just saving these seeds for my own personal use. This is the largest tiny Tim tomato that I have grown hydroponically, and since it's my personal use, I'm gonna let them dry just like this, and I'll put them in a little brown envelope and use them as I need. Now, like I said, if I'm going to give seeds to someone else, I would take a half an hour and keep rinsing this with a fine mesh strainer. But I know that because I've done this before, they will be okay. Now, I want to say the seed companies rinse and rinse and rinse the seeds because they're sending them to individuals. But tiny tomato seeds like this, I don't go through all of that trouble. A few of these seeds I'm going to immediately start again in my hydroponic system, so I won't be letting them completely dry out. They're going in the water anyway. Remember, my motto is work smart and not hard.
Now I want to share with you 2 types of beans. The first one is a bush. A bush bean doesn't grow real tall, and you don't have to have a trellis to trellis them up. That type is called a pole bean. And at this stage of my life, I want to only grow bush beans where I can sit on my garden bench and harvest the beans, you know, very comfortably without having to bend over. Now, in my younger days, I grew a pole because you can get more in a smaller space. But right now, I'm going to show you how to grow one of my favorite bush green beans. It is May 28th, and in this container, I'm going to plant some strike green beans. I'm going to pull a little straw over, and I'm going to turn the soil over just a little. Leave that marigold right there. I'm gonna plant some strike bush beans in here, something I can sit down and harvest. Here are the beans that I'm planting on this side, and they only need to go down 1 inch. So I'm just gonna press down a little bit. Real easy. Put some soil around it. Just want to go down 1 inch, and then I'm going to put some more soil on top of here. And I've grown these before. They're prolific bean. I'm going to move this soil over here, and I'm going to put a few more beans in here. Cover it up, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. After I planted all of my beans, I lightly watered them, and I will give them some water every day until they sprout, and then probably twice a week unless it gets real hot.
This time of year, it can take between 4-5 days for the beans to sprout. Longer if you're in a cooler climate. And one thing I need to tell you is I don't recommend starting beans inside because the roots don't like to be disturbed.
There are basically two types of tomatoes: a determinate tomato and an indeterminate tomato. The determinate tomatoes are those that usually grow kind of bushy, and all of the tomatoes, or I should say the majority of them, will start blooming and forming tomatoes at the same time. The other type, indeterminate tomato, is different. It can produce flowers and turn into tomatoes all through the growing season. But once temperatures get too hot, 85 degrees or higher, most of those tomato plants won't bloom a flower. And also, once the temperatures get too cold, close to freezing, then it will stop producing because it can't handle a frost. In my last video, I shared with you how and why I was pruning excessively some of my tomato plants, and I didn't tell you that those tomato plants which were celebrity tomato is a determinate tomato. So once it starts blooming and all the tomatoes come on, I might as well go ahead on and trim the extra branches and the leaves off because I want the plant to concentrate on getting those tomatoes to be bigger instead of all the energy going into the leaves. Here are some determinate tomatoes. This is the celebrity, and this is the color that I like for them to reach when I harvest them. Just blush. It's been scientifically proven that the tomatoes will not get any sweeter if you harvest them when they're at this state. They will continue to ripen in the house. So let me I see another one over here and over here that I'm going to get. And it's kind of stuck. Okay, baby, let's move that up a little bit. There we go. Very good. Here are a few more tomatoes I can harvest that are celebrity. And they are heat tolerant and disease resistant. It's a hybrid that was developed for hot climates. Today I'm going to show you a couple of beefsteaks that I pruned excessively that are indeterminate and determinate. Okay. You can see right here that I thoroughly pruned these tomatoes in this large galvanized bed. And these are beefsteak determinate, and these are some cherry tomatoes. I harvested a lot of those yesterday. Now I have one more bed that I need to thin out, and I'm gonna call it a day and do it tomorrow because it's just too hot out here. Here is today's harvest. This is how I like to harvest tomatoes for fried green tomatoes. When it gets a little blush on them, to me, they just taste a little sweeter. And these are the tomatoes that I harvested yesterday. They weren't all the way ripe, and they are today. Very easy. We're gonna start getting more and more every day, right? And I'll be sharing that with you.
People often ask me about my houseplant and hydroponic growing jungle in my bedroom. And one of the questions is, does it bother you because it's so busy? And the answer to that question is no. I smile when I look at all of the greenery. It brings me joy. It brings me peace. Another question I get all the time is it expensive? And the answer to that question is no, because I know how to propagate them and multiply my plants. So do what you love and what brings you peace, whatever your hobbies are. That's what I will continue to do. I've been growing tropical houseplants since I was about 20, so that's a very long time. In this window where I get southern exposure, I've been rooting a lot of my tropical houseplants, which include heartleaf philodendron right there, and a lot of different pothos. And I root them in distilled water. So now I've cleaned out this mason jar. You know, it was already cleaned with a little hydrogen peroxide. And now I'm gonna move them into this ball's jar because it's heavier, and when it's filled with water, it won't topple over so easily. And I'll come back and show you when I get done. I'll just show you how long the roots are before I put them in a larger container. You can see that they are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 inches long. Here's the actual plant. And the reason why I like to use the wide mouth mason jars when I'm putting them in their permanent home is because I can easily remove them when it's time to change the water. But I usually put them in a water bottle with a narrow top so that the plant itself or the branches won't slip down all the way in the bottle. Here is one that I'm giving to a friend, and I thought I would share it with you so you can see what I mean about the water bottle being narrow at the top. That will keep them into position. And the reason why I use this instead of just tap water, I just find that I get less fungus and issues, you know, with the plants when I use something other than tap water. Here are my 3 containers now, and they'll stay in this window, and I filled the mason jars all the way up to the top. And in about another 2 weeks after they have settled down in their new positions or homes, I'm going to give them a very small amount of hydroponic solution that I use for my electric systems. Here are some of the plants that I'm growing in water, and I propagated them from plants that were growing in soil, and they're doing very well. Comment below if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer all of your questions because I'm retired and I love helping people, and this is what I feel that my purpose in life is: help people to grow tropical plants, grow food inside hydroponically, or to grow as organically as you can outside.
This concludes my video. I hope that I shared something that you can use in your gardening. If you're new here, I hope that you will subscribe and like the video and share it on your social media platforms if you can. Thank you all so much for watching. You know that I love you, and God loves you too. Bye now.